Come in.
Mr. Smith, good to see you this morning.
Hi, Dr. Smith.
Hey, call me Brace. We're in Texas, we're pretty informal.
We're
No,
good to
absolutely.
see you. Good
I
to
got my
see you
boots
again.
on.
Excellent.
There we go.
Have a chair.
Thank you. Well, Bryce, I hope it's okay. I shed the jacket like you this morning. You know, it's wild how it was so nice and almost cool this weekend, and then today I'm sweating bullets.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yes, sir. Well, Morgan, I know she didn't want to start us off, but we're just excited to be here today. Thanks so much for giving us a few minutes of your time.
Well, we're really excited to see what we have to offer. We really feel like we have a real bridge that we can connect with ADP Run Mobile and Central Texas Dental. First, you would say we have about 20 minutes today. Is that still correct?
I wish I could give you more time, but it's just been a crazy day.
Sure.
I can understand. And whenever we talked at the car show, you mentioned that Dr. Neer was on vacation. Is that still?
She is. Yep.
Okay, whenever it comes to making this kind of purchase decision, are you the sole decision maker?
I wish, but no, she is a partner in the practice.
Okay.
I'm the senior partner, but I never make a major decision without consulting her.
Okay, and if we come to a conclusion today that this is something we'd like to move forward with, would we be able to schedule a meeting sometime next week to come in?
Sure.
Okay, well, great. First, there are 3 different areas that we wanted to look into today. First, we wanted to look over a little bit of what we've talked about prior to coming here, seeing if it matches and aligns with where your firm is coming from. Second, we would just like to ask a couple of questions, see what's working for existing payroll, see what we can improve on. And third, we just want to present ADP Run Mobile and see if it's something that you feel would match your wants and needs. Does this sound like something you'd be interested in?
My time's yours for the next 19 minutes.
Great. Was there anything else you'd like to add to our agenda today?
I didn't hear price.
Price? Okay. Okay. Well, that's something that we can definitely add to our 4th item on the agenda for today.
And Bryce, okay with you, we're not going to skirt around price, but based on how our conversation goes today, it will factor into how we build our presentation. And so, like I said, I'm not trying to skirt around it. I just want to make sure that might maybe be better if we talk about price in our next meeting, so that Morgan and I can go back to the office and put together a custom tailored presentation that really.
I don't expect you to be down to the penny
Okay.
what it is, but I am going to want to know ballpark.
We can definitely
Before I
ballpark
agree to wasting your time or mine, if it's not in the ballpark what I'm willing to spend, then.
Okay, great. I didn't want to give you a number that wasn't down to the penny.
No, I ballpark is fine.
Great.
Great.
Okay, well, first, what does your existing payroll service look like, and who are you currently utilizing for that?
We found some product at Office Max. I think it's by Microsoft. It's Dynamics GP.
Okay.
I think it is.
Is Michael running that?
Yeah, my son Michael.
Yeah, we talked about it at the car show.
Yeah, he's the one who runs that for us. He's gotten to know it inside and out. I mean, it's a pretty basic program. It's hard not to understand it.
Now, at the car show, you mentioned that Michael is going to culinary school as well.
He's thinking about it.
Thinking about it, okay.
He's decided that, and I always hoped that he was going to go to dental school, that,
right.
you know, take over this practice for me one day, but he said he can't stand looking at people's mouths all day, so he'd
Sure.
rather make stuff to put in their mouths.
Well said.
So he knows he wants to be his own business owner.
Sure.
So he thinks, you know, go to culinary school and then become a chef and a restaurant owner.
So Bryce, if we brought a product to you today that could take that responsibility off Michael's plate, it wouldn't break your heart?
No, in fact, that would probably be important to me, as you know, we talked a little bit at the car show. We added our 2nd location last year,
right?
And we're considering adding a 3rd.
Right.
You know, we're going through the cost modeling. The biggest concern we have, I've seen what happened to his work schedule when we added that 2nd location.
Right.
And I'm concerned because the 3rd location, if we add it, it's going to be as big as Waco. It's going to be probably 20 employees to start.
20 employees, okay,
Wow.
So where we're going in, it's a fast-growing area, and so it is going to cause some challenges from that perspective.
Sure,
and so
tracking payroll and keeping everything straight.
Yeah, before
Fine.
Michael dropped the dad, I may leave and go to culinary school this fall on me. We were worried that, you know, maybe we were going to have to turn this into a full-time position, which we haven't budgeted for, just
Sure.
to handle HR issues and payroll, and you know, Michael doesn't get involved in the goop and goo and, you know, the digging in the mouths, but
sure.
He's critical to us running efficiently.
I mean, Bryce, is it fair to say that payroll is probably something you enjoy fooling around with?
I hate it.
Well, I'm happy you said that because payroll is our passion.
Well, I guess it has to be for somebody, and you probably think I'm weird for being willing to put my hands in strangers' mouths all day.
No,
Everyone has their different callings.
I've got a lot of friends
so-
at Henry Schein who love talking to dentists all day.
Oh,
so.
yeah, I love Henry Schein, buy all my stuff from them.
Good, they're good folks. Sorry, didn't mean to sidetrack this morning. What were you asking?
Okay, with the expansion of the third location, were you looking to have all of the services run by one person, or were you looking to have someone?
No, one person.
One person?
As we continue on, I mean, we're not gonna stop at 3, I hope.
Right.
Good.
So what we're trying to do is build a model where we can just plug and play as we see where there's an area with fast
Sure.
growing population, not enough dentists yet. We want to
Right.
be able to drop that model in and not
Yeah.
recreate everything.
Sure.
Right,
So centralized administration is gonna be critical for
Right.
us.
okay.
So it seems like oversight would be an important factor from your perspective, where you don't want to be in the nitty gritty of running payroll, but by God, you probably want to know where your money's going.
I wanna buy that
Yes.
car next year, and the only way my wife is gonna let me is if we can get to a certain level of profitability, so I
Sure.
have to watch every penny of the
Sure.
practice.
So something that might be important to you as we come in towards product demo here in a few minutes would be, well, an office manager would run payroll. You probably have the functionality to be able to look in and just kind of see generally who's getting paid at what,
Mhm.
at a glance.
Yes.
Okay, great.
Because a lot of times, even though I don't run payroll, the employees know I started the practice when they have payroll questions, they come to me, even though
Sure.
I
Right.
just have to say, talk to Michael.
Right, so
Right.
you still be familiar with it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, definitely.
Okay, well, it sounds like things are really taking off, and with your kind of, I love talking to dentists who are entrepreneurial, because, you know, you're not satisfied with just helping a few people, you want to penetrate a market, and that's what we're all about as well. So what's the secret, I mean, what's your secret sauce? I mean, how are you, I mean, so many dentists are kind of dying off, and you are thriving in this market. What's your secret?
It's all in making sure you deliver very good patient care. Or the easiest way for us to get new patients from referrals from somebody that we're already taking care of. And as they continue to refer their friends to us, that's how we grow the practice. Is by keeping track of our reviews on Google, and if we don't get
Sure.
a good Google review, we contact the person.
Right.
And don't accuse them of, you know,
Right.
just putting up a bad review, but what could we have done better? We'd like to take care of you. If you're unhappy, come in, let us take care of it.
Sure.
So it's been through delivering the good patient care and the quality experience, but then also keep an eye on the bottom line.
Right.
You know, making sure we invest in the technology needed to run efficiently.
I know that Morgan and I have seen working with a number of dentists, is that the challenge isn't that you don't love the people, you know, your passion is in the medicine. It's that sometimes with the way that the dentist office has to run, you know, your schedule gets so full, you don't have the time to run the office and the operatory.
Right.
Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because anytime I don't have my hands in the mouth is non-productive time.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. So
Okay.
building on that, about how long would you say gets spent a week on payroll?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let's kind of walk through it. Now, we do payroll every 2 weeks. And I did ask Michael to kind of document when we were considering adding the third, so we could figure out what impact it would have. And he said that on a typical week, he does update, he puts it all the time cards,
Mhm.
because we do manual time cards.
Okay.
He puts them into an Excel spreadsheet. He said it takes about 4.5 hours a week for that part.
Well, so we're talking
9 hours per
16, 20 hours a month.
18 hours a month ballpark.
That's almost half a work week.
Yeah,
Wow.
and then he imports it into the Dynamics GP.
Right.
It takes about 2 hours to get all the checks printed out, making sure it all printed correctly. Once we sign the checks, either read or write, then it takes him about 2 hours to stuff it in the envelopes and mail them. And then there's always some follow-up because, you know, it's still a very manual process, so we may miss somebody who took a
Right.
paid day
Right.
off. So that we usually have to redo 3 or 4 paychecks each time.
Sure, so it sounds like quality control is something Michael's having to manage right now that you probably rather not have to fool with.
He does spend a lot of time reconciling things
Sure.
that I wish we did not have to do.
I mean,
Right.
as much as I love coming to work and Morgan loves coming to work, at the end of the day, I want that paycheck.
Mhm.
Exactly.
And, you know, as much as we love our boss, if he's writing us the wrong check or put the wrong amount there,
If you love what
it's
you do, you
stressful.
want to get paid well for doing it.
Never said better.
That's very true. So, in terms of compliance, how would you say that has served as a setback for your office?
It hasn't, you know, we've been lucky.
Okay.
And I do say lucky, because I know that at some point, we're gonna face that situation. As we add more employees, we're gonna run the risk of having that disgruntled one who's looking for any little way to hit us.
Right.
So, Michael has done a great job staying up to date, but that's another thing that worries me, is that if he does leave, I don't have time to go to that website he uses, that shrm.org.
Okay.
I don't wanna go research all that stuff.
Mhm.
So that's how he stayed up, and so I'm gonna find myself using that law firm more and more often for little piddly things than just pay the bill for it.
Sure, sure.
So, Dr. Smith, what would you say if we were able to eliminate the money you've spent on the lawyer, the need to go to that website, the 18 to 20 hours a week spent on payroll? What would you say if we could eliminate that and put it into about 5 to 10
I'd
minutes?
say, what's the catch?
What is the catch? Well,
The catch is you can run payroll from the 19th hole on Friday afternoon, where you should be on Fridays.
All right, now you've got my attention.
Okay. Well, Morgan, do you have more questions, or are you ready to roll in the demo?
Show me this, because right now it sounds too good to be true.
I know. Okay, I'm gonna pull out the iPad, and the ADP Run Mobile can be run from an iPhone, no problem. Since we're sharing information today, it's a little easier to see on the iPad. So if you look, this is our home screen. There's 4 components to, you see that for you?
Yeah.
Okay, there are 4 components to the ADP Run Mobile. You talked about them in terms of frustration. I like to reframe them for you in terms of opportunity.
Okay.
So the first part is, we've got, you have to run payroll. So, when you run payroll, you print checks. If some of your employees do direct deposit.
No, right now it's not an option.
Okay.
I'm sure they would prefer that because they get their money faster.
Sure.
Right now,
Right.
we mail checks on a Friday, they get it on maybe Saturday, banks are closed.
Sure.
They don't have access to money till Monday, so.
Well, that's one of the features we can set up for you. But if your employees still want hard checks, we second day mail them to you. So payroll's on a Friday, they're second day mailed to you, have them on Monday. From there, we move into the print report. So that's where you can get in as a manager and still have that handle and feel comfortable with what's going on in terms of your hiring in your HR department without having to put it on the operatory, if you will. And then from there, we file your taxes and we make sure that you're 100% compliant. And we have a guarantee that says that if there are ever any issues or IRS any questions, we will be the ones to represent you to make sure that those questions are assuaged.
Okay.
So that's kind of the 30,000-foot view. So now I'll take you into, sorry, do you have any questions?
I'm just thinking, looking at the iPad and thinking of everything my iPad goes through.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 4-year-old grandson who
Sure.
he loves to grab Papa's iPad
Right.
and take it and go play games on it, and then we're all the time trying to track it down. I'm worried
Sure.
that if my stuff is on that iPad and he loses it,
Right.
what liability? I mean, are you guys protect me with that issue?
Sure, so is your question centered around security or is it
Yeah,
centered around?
security. I mean, what if somebody gets that, hacks in, and they've got access to confidential information? If my payroll information's on there,
Right.
they're doing direct deposit, I can't risk them getting a hold of
right.
bank account numbers for my employees.
Right, okay. So your question centered on security, is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, we use the same security system the Bank of America, Bank of Texas, that all the major large commercial banks in the United States use. It's 52-bit encryption. And then the other kind of speaking, I think one point you kind of brought up in that scenario is that if you lose the iPad or it's broken, how do you access your payroll?
That would be part of it too. I mean,
Right.
if it's all on the iPad and the iPad breaks or gets
Right.
lost,
With
all right, I don't want to start all over again.
Right.
Right. With the iPad, this is a freestanding app, so it's not anything that has to be loaded onto any
Right.
system or
It's
anything.
all in the cloud.
Yes.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
all login information, and it'll time you out after 15 minutes of an
Like my
activity.
investment accounts, I go in there and I
Exactly.
stock and bond. Yeah, all right,
Exactly.
okay, all right, understand it.
So that's kind of the main overview. And so next I'll move into what an actual payroll screen looks like. And so you would be working this on the day-to-day. This would be Michael or whoever else is running your payroll. But here you can see each of your employees has an account set up. Their hourly wages is listed, and also just what if their salary, what their current breakdown is. On the next page, we have kind of a full summary of each payroll period. This is where your money went, this is you got paid, this is how many hours. And so one of the great things is that it saves Michael that time of oversight, and instead of having to double check and double check and double check, not only are we 100% compliant and with the IRS, but we make sure that your information is entered in accurately. And then as well, we're the ones that are stuffing checks if that's the road you want to go down.
I'd rather do direct deposit.
Sure.
And that gives,
Cleaner and,
And that's something
Right.
we probably want to bring up with Dr. in your next meeting. I'll kind of do some work there. We've also got some partners in the timestamp industry, and would love to set you up with a digital login so that you don't have to transfer
Manual
manual
timestamps.
timestamps.
Mhm.
Is that something you'd be
Do it.
interested in?
very possibly. You know, I
Okay.
think my practice management software has a capability. I want to look to see,
Sure.
you know, what the possibility is to link it.
Right. And then, right, so then that's just kind of another page of the summary. And so, I mean, ultimately, I hope that you can see through the demo that it's a very, very simple system that's very effective.
Mhm. So, you know, one of the things that I like right now about our current system is that it's, once you learn it, it's simple, it's easy.
Sure.
right,
After you told me about this great thing, you know, that would revolutionize, you know, make my life so much easier, I asked
Right.
around a little bit.
Sure.
You know, did my due diligence. Anytime I've got to set up an appointment, you know, try to research a little bit about it. And I actually have a couple buddies who use the ADP Run Mobile system.
well,
Right.
They
great.
said it's great when it works.
When it works.
When it doesn't
What's
work.
the catch there? What's the story?
Well, they said that whenever they have a hiccup, or even if they
Sure.
don't know how to do something, they dial the 1-800 number, you hit the help screen, and it comes up with a toll-free number to call. And they said that sometimes they're waiting 20 minutes before they ever talk to a live
Mhm.
person.
That's interesting. We've just gone through kind of a customer service audit, and we're working to correct some of those, long wait times.
Right,
And
so-
part of the issue there is that we hold ourselves to such a high standard in terms of who we let talk to you on the phone. That we're not hiring just any Joe Blow. And so we're in the process of onboarding some new employees. And so hopefully in the next month, those wait times will decrease. But in the meantime, I'd love to go ahead, I should give you a Saturday, but here's my card. I know that Morgan has one as well.
Yes, I do.
There's my cell phone number. If at any time during the day you had a question about this and you said, man, Robert, I'm confused about this, what's going on? While that's not our primary role, with this, we operate in the sales function, we're on your team.
Mine's in my purse out in the hallway, but I'll grab it whenever we come back in.
Okay.
And something that I know you touched on was the financials of it. If I can have the iPad.
Yes.
This is just still a ballpark. Whenever we get back, we'll be able to come back in and give a more definite answer based off of what we've taken away from the meeting today. But you mentioned that you have 20 in Waco,
Sorry.
you have 15 in Belmead, and then you're
Yeah.
looking on adding 20.
The goal of the new office would be to start out around the same size as what we have in Waco. So
Okay.
it probably, 20-ish to start.
Okay.
With potential growth from there.
Okay, so in total, you're looking, for this purpose, we'll estimate with 55 in the ballpark. So with that, and you said it was bi-weekly,
Mhm.
then you would mention that would be 26 weeks. So that would bring us, rough estimate, this is the number that we're looking at. But with
It's
that,
not as painful as I thought it would be.
exactly, and with that, think about, that's 20 hours a week that you're no longer, that's 20
Mhm.
hours that you could be spending elsewhere.
I'll
So-
tell you, we pay $1,250 a year just to update what we currently use.
Wow.
Right,
So,
so, well, great.
You're
This
really
is-
only $800 more than what I'm currently doing.
Right, so, well, good, I'm glad to hear that, and that's something that we'll definitely work on for next meeting. So, does this whole presentation and information, is this something that you would like us to come back and meet with Dr.
I
Neer about?
think you really should.
All right, let's shoot for next Tuesday or Thursday, maybe morning, afternoon work better?
I know that she likes to keep her Tuesdays pretty busy.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Thursday would probably be better.
Thursday.
Thursday.
How about a 7:30 breakfast? We'll bring it in.
No, she always goes to the gym in the mornings.
Okay.
I know
Okay.
that you will not get her in here, but probably lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
You bring her in a sandwich.
We'll bring a
she'll-
sandwich.
We'll plan on that.
healthy
All right,
sandwich and-
healthy sandwich, we got it.
We'll plan on that.
Well, Bryce,
So-
it's been fun. Hopefully I'll see you out at the raceway this weekend.
All right,
That would be
sounds
great.
good.
All
We
right.
look forward to working
Robert,
with you.
thank you very much.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you,
Morgan?
have a great day.
Thanks.
There we go.
You're like 18 minutes and 40 seconds.
Ooh, all right.
Right, with the Statue of Liberty.
Yeah.
It's almost, it's not scary to see it in real life, it's like driving hard to what it is, you know, hard to imagine.
So how was your,
Well, yeah.
how you doing?
I
hope you're an archive one. I'm fearful for what mine's looking like.
We started a post one of the next week role play, so I'm just going to talk.
Really?
We're looking on each of the this summer, so we're looking at idea of sounds like more posts
I
real life sketch